All right, we're back on today. Today, I'm talking to Moriah Formica. I really appreciate it. You may know her. She was a contestant on The Voice that I watch all the time. I appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Where are you? Where are you at? What state are you in right now?
I am in upstate New York.
So obviously, you guys are still locked down as we are here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
How,
yeah, definitely. Not much of anything going on here.
Yes, the only thing open down here are grocery stores and
Yeah.
Walmarts and Targets, if you have those. Same thing for you guys.
Here. Yeah, no, it's the same for us. Just only like if you want food, the curbside pickup, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How has this all kind of derailed your plans or put them on hold a little bit?
I mean, it's canceled everything. Everything is canceled. Shows. I had a tour. I was supposed to go on the 1987 tour with Michael Sweet of Stryper and Tony Harnell from TNT. And that tour got postponed until September. And, to be honest, truthfully, I don't even know if it'll be carrying on. It's rescheduled for September, but with how this has been going, I have no idea if it'll even be, done by September. So,
yeah,
that's kind of how it affected everything. And I'm sure as every artist, it's just canceled everything, but it's particularly hard for the rockers because we, our livelihood is live shows basically. So it's been a little tough, but, I've been finding things to, make it work, and I've been doing live streams and song requests for people. So it's been a lot of fun and a lot of interviews, like this. It's good to have face-to-face interviews and not just on the phone.
No, absolutely. I thank God for seeing somebody and being able to talk to somebody every day.
Right.
That's been cool.
Yeah.
Can we go back and can you tell me how you got involved in music?
Yeah.
Like from the start?
Yeah. So music has always been a part of me. Ever since I was little, my parents always had music going on around me. My parents would always like those little baby swings that the babies fall asleep. They can rock back and forth in. And I would, my parents would put me in that, but I would never fall asleep unless they would put these headphones over my head and it would be Guitar by the Sea or Flute by the Sea or whatever it was called. And that's the only way that I would ever go to bed. So, since I was a baby, there was something that was special about music to me. But as I got a little bit older, my dad always raised me around 80s music and, some of the classics, obviously like Heart and Zeppelin and all that stuff. But he would always have 80s pop-up videos or That Metal Show or Amato Media. What else? Headbangers Ball. Was that the show?
That was one. Yep.
Yeah. One of those. He would always have, the music choice on demand for the classics and stuff. So I just remember seeing the guitar players and I was just like, man, that's so cool. I love how that sounds. And I want to be able to play that. And I want to be those guys. And so I asked for a guitar when I was 5 or 6. And my Nana got me one of those $20 guitars from Target with the built-in speaker from it. You just battery operated, just flick the switch on or off. And yeah, I just locked myself in my room and would try and learn one new Aerosmith song a day. And so that's how I got involved in music. There was never really a moment where I was like, hey, I want to be a musician. It just kind of happened. It picked me, if that makes any sense.
Now, Moriah, how old are you right now?
I'm 19.
So my daughter is 17.
Oh, okay.
There's no way she's into rock and roll. So it's pretty cool to see somebody younger who really enjoys, Aerosmith and people like that. I mean, I like old school rap music, and she wouldn't know who Eric B and Rakim are if when I play the songs. It's a shame. So was that all influenced by your dad?
Yeah, it was all my dad. he always, you know, he's a rock guy obviously, and so he always raised me around rock, and it's just what I gravitated toward. It's just always a part of me. And you know, I love all types of music, honestly. I love rap as well. I mean, not like the mainstream rap that's right now, but I love rap. And I love hip hop, and I love pop, you know, some pop artists. One of my favorite artists of all time and biggest inspirations is Lady Gaga. So I love all music, but rock and metal were always, you know, my heart. It was always what I went back to.
When did you start writing music?
Um, I wrote my first song when I was 11, actually. So, um, yeah, probably around 11 is when I started actually like really trying to write music.
How, did you know right away you were good? Like, because you were
Not necessarily. I knew, I guess, based, like I noticed the reactions of people around me whenever they would hear me sing or play guitar or whatever. But you know, I was like 9 or 10 when I mean, I knew I was a good guitar player by the time I was like 9 or 10 because I'd been playing for 5 years at that point. So I knew I was, you know, good. Like I could get through a song. I wasn't like anything special on guitar, but I could play, you know, every Aerosmith album and whatever. So I was like, all right, yeah, guitar. That was my thing for a while. And then around 9 or 10, I started singing. And with singing, I had no idea that I was good because I didn't know what a good voice was. I don't know. I just kind of would sing to myself. And so I guess the way that I found out that I was good was seeing all of the other people's reactions around me.
No, absolutely. I would think that,
Yeah.
you know, your parents would be like, holy mackerel, you know,
Yeah.
she's got something going on, because you just said you wrote your first song at 11, but the voice was, you were 16, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty quick. Could you take me, how did you decide to try out for the voice?
Yeah. So with the voice, it was very out of the blue because I was not, you know, as a rocker girl, I was not for those shows. I was not really, well, not even just a rocker, like in general, just as a music fan, I just kind of was like, well, it's a TV show. It's not about the contestants, anyways, you know, and because it is a reality TV show no matter what, and it's always going to be a TV show. So I just was kind of iffy about that. But what happened was I got this email from somebody, and they were like, "Hey, I'm a talent scout for The Voice, and I noticed one of your videos on YouTube, and we want to give you a private audition. We want you to try out." And when my dad told me that, I thought it was a joke. I was like, "Dad, like," I was like, "That doesn't happen. Like, stop. It's not funny." And he's like, "No, I'm serious. You don't understand." And I was like, I mean, it was news to me. I had no idea about talent scouts or people that, you know, scouted for TV shows. So I said no, not to them, but I said no initially. And then after thinking about it for a little bit, I was like, wait a minute. It would be so dumb if I'm 16 years old. I love music. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I'm like, how dumb would it be if I didn't take that opportunity? Just because, you know, take every opportunity that comes at your way. And that's a huge opportunity. So I just figured I'd do it. And it ended up being life changing.
What's that feeling when, I'm sure you've been asked this before, when all those chairs turn around? Because just watching it, it's, you know, we can feel that feeling.
I mean, initially when all the chairs turned around, I didn't actually know because I had my eyes closed when I was singing. I was just feeling the music, so I had my eyes closed most of the time. So I knew that Miley was turned around. So at that point, I was like, all right, good. At least I'm safe. Like, I'm not going home. And then I had my eyes closed. And by the end of the song, I opened my eyes and everybody was turned around. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, I wasn't, because, you know, you go in there hoping that people will turn for you, but it's never an assumption because you don't know. And so it was a very, very humbling, euphoric moment because I just was so grateful that each one of those coaches were like, I want this girl. It was such a feeling of fullness and happiness.
What was the whole experience like, the whole time that you were there for you?
Honestly, it was amazing. It really, really was. I met lifelong friends. I met my best friend on that show, who is still my best friend, actually. And I've met people that have, changed my view on life for the better. One of my friends, Janice Freeman, who unfortunately passed away last year, but she was a part of Team Miley, and we became very close. Um, and I learned a lot of, I gained a lot of confidence from it, because before I went on that show, I was the shyest, most timid person. Like I was the shyest kid. I never said anything. I would feel awkward having conversations with people. Um, I was so quiet, and I mean, and it showed on The Voice too. I was pretty timid most of the time, but it really just helped me grow into who I am as a person. And as far as like the experience while you're there, it's great. You're treated great by the crew and the show, and you feel like you're cared about, and it's just it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It really, really is.
What were some misconceptions you had before you went on there about those kind of shows that you were wrong?
Um, I don't know. I honestly, like, I don't know if I had any. I mean, it was kind of exactly how I thought it would be, but the only thing, I was still just a little bit worried because I was a rock person, so I wasn't sure if, because rock isn't exactly, it's not mainstream right now, and it hasn't been for a while, for a long
Hmm.
time. But so that was the only thing I think that I was a little on the fence about. But everything else, I was just kind of like, I'd never had that experience, so I didn't have any formed opinions or judgments that were about that. It was just more kind of nervousness and on the edge, like, oh, I don't know about this.
So you just said you were shy, which I hear that a lot from entertainers. But you have to put yourself out there. You're putting
Right,
yourself out there on social media now. You put yourself
right.
out there on TV. How do you deal with? Plus, as you're growing up, you were 16. You're still
Mhm.
young. How do you put yourself out there while you're still learning who you are and dealing with? There's some crazy people out there who are trolls, and you get crazy comments. And how do you deal with all that?
um well, I mean, I kind of just look at it as, I'm putting myself out there, obviously, also for other people, not just for me. um a lot of my motivation has been to help people, particularly young kids that are around my age. um because I've had ongoing struggles for pretty much all of my young life with mental health and mental illness, and just a lot of things that people don't expect young kids to go through. um and I think it can be really frustrating for young kids to hear that all the time. Like, people think that they don't, I don't know, people think that they don't, maybe they think that they don't go through things because they're not old enough yet, or they don't, you know what I mean? So I want to be a voice for those kids. I mean, for anybody really, but mainly for the kids. And so that kind of helps me put myself out there more than anything, I guess. um but as far as like comments and trolls, I kind of am like, there are a couple things that I get annoyed about, obviously, because if somebody just says something that's completely untrue, like, I've had a few people say that the Barracuda video is lip synced. So I'm just like, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't care. Like, you're one person. It's kind of embarrassing that you think that your opinion is, like, relevant in my life. um, so I guess that's my kind of view on trolls and people that have negative comments. But I mean, putting yourself out there also opens for a lot of positivity too. So it's been difficult putting myself out there, but I think that the overall payback is much more positive and outweighs the negatives.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, you know, we talk a lot about anxiety and depression and things like that, and which I have, not depression. I have anxiety, you know, panic attacks here and there. The best thing for me is realizing that a lot of other people have the same problems. So we did a video, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and so many emails that, hey, I have that same problem. I have this problem. I have that problem. So
Right.
we were talking before we went live here about, for you, I watch you on Instagram Live all the time, and I love to see that, just that raw video of you singing or other artists singing. And I think that's helped out a lot of people through this. You know, you're locked in your house. This has definitely caused more anxiety and more depression for people. So I'm sure that you've helped a ton of people out by doing that.
Yeah, thank you. And that is also one of the reasons that I've been loving going on, you know, the live streams during this quarantine, is because I know it, and I'm sure, as you know, it's just, this is the worst thing for people that struggle with mental health. Even if you actually don't have any, you know, struggles with mental health, it's still not good for your mental health. So I think that, and I was really surprised with the amount of messages and DMs afterwards of people being like, Moriah, you have no idea how much your live streams, you know, brighten up my day. And, you know, they make me feel so much better. I was feeling really low today, or it was just such a slow day because, you know, everyone's, you know, people that are still blessed enough to have their jobs, they're working from home. It's slow, it's boring, it's tiring. So, you know, that also was just the best thing that I could hear, because, you know, and then it keeps me going in return. So it's just, we all help each other, you know, through this time.
Has it been good to be able to keep in touch with your fans and while this is all going on? Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cause it, you know, cause a lot of artists, I think right now, not artists, obviously not artists that are huge or that already have a huge fan base established, and, you know, they're going to have their fans. But I think that a lot of the artists that are kind of, you know, still emerging and are new and, you know, are kind of more on the down low, like myself, I think that it's very hard for us because we might think, great, I don't have any live shows. Are people going to forget about me? You know, is it going to be, you know, is this going to hurt my career really badly? And so when I do go on live stream and I do go on social media, I'm surprised because, you know, this is, well, I guess I'm not super surprised because everybody's on social media now because they don't have anything to do. But I was just surprised because this is, you know, a lot of activity that I've gotten. It's the most I've gotten in maybe the last year or so. I'm like, holy crap, we're all in quarantine and I'm not even out playing live shows. And I'm, you know, so it gave me some confidence, you know, that I can still remain true and relevant and, you know, an active part of people's lives in the music industry, even if it's from my home, you know?
Yeah, and then move back into normalcy once we get out of here, and then you've built this all up. That's a good thing, definitely.
Right, exactly.
How have you been able to collaborate? You know, I saw you have a couple different videos or live streams with, and I apologize, I don't know their names, but the young woman playing the drums, who's awesome, and then awesome. Right, that got a lot of comments on our end. How do you collaborate when you guys aren't together and find somebody?
Well, I knew, so these are actually two members that I am in a band with. So
cool.
I already knew, you know, Deb Headley, who's the girl that I did my Immortal with. She's my keyboard player. And Brooke C, who's the girl that played the drums. She's, you know, we're starting a new project and she's the drummer. And she's just awesome. You know, she literally just turned 17 and she plays like that. And I'm just like, you know, that's stupid. Like that's, you know what I mean? So, I mean, she just crazy talented people. And, you know, she's got the attention of so many of the drummers in big rock bands now today. And so, you know, she's just awesome. Um, but yeah, we were like, why don't we put out a cover in a collab? Because people have been mentioning us working together, and we kind of had behind the scenes, but we hadn't put anything out yet, and so nobody knew. And well, I also think that that's one of the reasons why it blew up so much, is because people wanted us to do stuff together, and we'd never hinted at it before. And so I think that was a big shocker to people that were already following us. But yeah, I just wanted to, it's the perfect time to put out covers now, because, we have all the time on our hands. People are online looking for stuff like that. At least I know I am. So we just thought it was the perfect time. So we figured, a way through Pro Tools to do it, and we did it.
And that's amazing. I mean, she plays the drums so effortlessly, and amazingly.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Awesome. So what can we look forward to moving forward with some of your new music?
Yeah, so I'm aiming to put out at least one single every, 4 or 5 months. So there's definitely going to be new music coming out continuously. But really, I'm trying to find, my one unique, different sound. Like, I'm trying to find my sound as an artist. And as this new band project that I formed, we're going to be trying to find our sound, as a group. And so I guess people can just expect that is, a continuous evolution of sound and stuff like, I'm still going to be me, obviously, but, everyone's got to find their sound that puts them in a whole other different ball game, where it's like, oh, that's their niche. You know what I mean? Like that's their thing. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately with my music. But people can definitely expect regular music, on a regular basis from me.
Do you have people, I don't know this, in the music business, who try to steer you into, hey, you got to sound like this, or you have to look like that? How do you keep true to yourself?
I used to. Honestly, it's just, I think keeping true to yourself is more of like, an experience thing. It's kind of like, the more experience you have in the industry, the more you realize, hey, you know what? Nothing good ever comes out of trying to be somebody that you're not. I know for me, every single, not that I've tried it a lot, but there was a phase that I had for maybe a year where I tried to do a little bit more of a mainstream thing. And it was just not, I don't even look like a pop. Like, I just look like a rocker. Like, my style is rock. I don't talk like a pop star. I don't look, like I said, I don't look like one. I don't have any, you know what I mean? I'm just too real and too raw for that. And people could see that. So I think that the way that I stay true to myself is, first of all, it's just me. You can't, it's just hard to be somebody that you're not, for me personally. And also I keep reminding myself, you know what? People can see right through it though, and people don't like that. People don't like fake. And so, and then I know that that's one of the main things that my fans say to me that they love, is the genuineness and the rawness and the realness. And, it's because I choose to just be myself. And yeah, I have had people be like, you should really do this, or you should really start to look like this, or, you really got to slim down, or just stuff like that, So like I said, I think it's just more of an experience thing and a confidence thing. And as you build your confidence and you have more of an idea of who you are, more of a sense of self as you get older, it just becomes easier to be who you are.
100%. And that's why I love those live videos, live streaming. You can see that you're real, or anybody else who's on there, you can see if they're real or not.
Right.
How can we support the people we like right now while we're all locked in the house? We obviously can't go and pay to go see you at a show. How can we support you and your music and everything that you're doing?
You know, I really appreciate that question. You know, it's, as you know, it's a hard time for all of us right now, I guess, you know, not even just in the music industry, but I guess from my position in the music industry, what would be really helpful right now, I know for me, is, you know, just the continuous support and being engaged in the live streams, you know, and you know, receiving what we put out and keep giving us that fire to keep going. You know, because we're struggling right now too. I'm not just talking about financially or with your career, like personally, it's hard for us too, because you know, we want to be able to put stuff out for our fans and have our fans be receptive. And you know, it would be really, really helpful if people, you know, would donate even just, you know, $1, if we have, you know, virtual tip jars for our live streams. Or you know, I know for myself, I did this thing where because a lot of people were were putting down requests in the comments of my live streams, and I felt bad because I didn't know a lot of the songs that they were requesting. And so I said, you know what, hey, I will learn all of your requests, just $25, and I will learn all your requests. I will put together a personal video customized for you,
Oh,
and
cool.
I'll send it, you know, and I'll send it to you. All I was asked for was $25, and just stuff like that. The people that were so willing to help, I think, is what's really going to be helpful with us, you know. So any little thing, if people feel compelled to donate or to just, you know, buy our music on iTunes, you know, stream our music, comment, you know, you can just be so
Share,
nice.
definitely. Yeah, like and share.
Share, that's a big thing, you know, like, comment, share, just keeping the momentum going, I think, is what is going to be the best for people like myself right now.
Has anything surprised you about the music business?
uh yeah. um well, I mean, I don't know, I think, okay, I think what surprised me, I don't know why it surprised me, but I think what surprised me is the amount of people that are just so not real. I think that surprised me. And it only surprised me because I'm just always so used to being like, well, what, you know, what's the big deal with being yourself or being an open book? Obviously not like super personal, but I just mean, you know, personality wise, just throwing yourself out there. You know, I never understood that. And I guess for me, it was just harder for me to understand why people were so not genuine. And, you know, and it surprised. I also don't know why this surprised me, but it did. Is just the amount of backstabbing that goes on. I think that really surprised me because I just, like I said, no, you know, nobody. It's always going to be shocking if you're stabbed in the back. It's always going to be shocking, even if you
Mhm.
expect it. You know, so I think that those things really, really surprised me, and I guess it really also surprised me how, like, how good people are at being cons. Like, people know how, if you're in a desperate place and you don't really know what to do and you don't know what you're doing, like, it is so easy. There are people out there that know exactly what to say, when to say it, and then they'd be like, you know, like, for example, like, they could be like, yeah, I can really help you, I've done this X, Y, and Z, whatever, and you know, all I'm asking for is, you know, $10,000, and I can really help you and make your, and you know what, the next thing you know is they drain you dry and you don't have any money and you're not anywhere in your career. And I think that also surprised me too, is just really the dirtiness of a lot of the things that happen, you know.
Mm.
And also what surprised me was, and I have no idea why these things are surprising me, because these are things that are constantly talked about, but I guess until you experience it, well, when you experience it for the first time, it's always a little bit shocking, like I said before. And the other thing that surprised me a little bit was what else? Oh, there was something else I was gonna say. Shoot, this was a good one. What was it?
Well, I mean, and this happens in, for models and people,
Yeah,
actors.
anybody in the entertainment industry. It's just
There's sharks out there.
yeah. It's just it's just dirty, and I don't know. Those are the things that I guess I was. Oh, here's the other thing that surprised me, and that I have no idea why I was surprised about, was the amount of work that the artists actually have to do now versus back in the day, when you know a record label saw you and they were like, hey, you're so talented. All we need is just a couple good songs. We'll put the money in to advertise, to get some traction, get you on a couple festivals, and you'll be there in no time. And so it really was like a team effort, and they really did help artists. Now it's kind of like, you're really good, you're super talented, but your following on Instagram doesn't tell us that you can make us money. You know what I mean? So now it's like, you got to build yourself, get 100,000 followers, get a couple good songs, and then be like, hey, now am I worth your time and money? Because I have 100,000 followers on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? It's just also materialistic now. And so I think that surprised me a little bit, and I think a lot of it's my age too. I think when you're 16, or 14 even, I had labels, and I was in contact with some labels when I was like 14, which I'm glad I never ever had anything happen with that, because I just think that 14 or even 16 is just way too young. It's just way too young to be in the music industry and signed to a label. It's just too much.
Who's helping you through all this? Your family?
Yeah, my family. My dad is basically my manager,
Nice.
and he's really been helping me a lot. And there are a lot of really helpful. We have a lot of helpful people in LA, and people that are in the industry that have just really been supportive and have done what they can to really really help and get my name out there. So yeah, but I think a lot of it is my family mostly. They have helped. My parents have raised me to be very very level-headed and humble, and I think that is a huge factor in how far I've gotten. So yeah, it really really is just a team effort, and God, for me personally. I know it's not for everyone, but for me, God has got me to this point and helped me through to this point.
Nice. Well, hopefully you get everything that you want and deserve.
Thank you. Thank you.
On a positive note, what do you no music? What do you like to do? Like in
Well,
your free time?
yeah.
Not that we have free time now, but
Yeah. Well, ever since I was little, my first passion, even before music, was fishing. So I love fishing. I love the outdoors. I love hiking. I love going out and looking for snakes, and I catch different snakes and take pictures with them in the summer. And yeah, I'm just a geek when it comes to nature and fishing.
you take
I also
you take selfies with snakes. So you
I
take
do. Yeah. Because I love reptiles. I actually own several reptiles. I own snakes and lizards and stuff. And so that's one of my huge. I mean, they call it a hobby, but is reptiles. I love reptiles. They've always been a passion of mine ever since I was little. And so I'm always just preoccupied with them.
awesome. Well, nobody's ever told me that before. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
it's definitely not a common thing, I don't think.
Um, last question. Well, actually, two more questions. You get up in the morning. What's the perfect day to you? Like, what would be your most like perfect day?
Okay, my most perfect day. Let's see. I have to be in Florida or somewhere tropical. So there's perfect warmth, humidity. That'd be a perfect day for me. I would get up, get a Starbucks coffee, get my stuff together, go fishing, fish for several hours, go back, take care of my animals, my snakes, my reptiles, maybe play a couple songs on my acoustic guitar and go for a hike. That would be my idea of an absolutely perfect, peaceful tranquility day.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're talking to Moriah Formica again, and you can see her web address at the bottom of the screen right there. Where can we find you, and when are you going to go live again?
So actually, I'm going to be going live tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be going live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm going to be live. I'll be doing a couple songs and then just, doing a Q&A or whatever. And yeah, you guys can find me on all social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, what's the other one? Facebook.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, all that good stuff. And it's all under the same handle. It's just Moriah Formica, same as my website. So yeah.
Cool. Moriah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. Good luck with everything. And we'll talk to you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Thank you very much.